Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm your host D-Day, bringing you some more of my Productive Bees mod tutorial. We are on episode 2, and today what we're going to go over is how to breed the bees in the Productive Bees mod. And for this, we're going to be using the mod pack allthemods 10, since what I believe is that most of us, we're going to be playing this mod in a mod pack, so it is going to interact with other mods. So in episode 1, we planted some of these mauve trees, and apparently they have a very high chance of spawning in with a bee nest attached to it, so that is pretty crazy. That does give you a really good option of finding a specific tree that you like this one, and then just planting them to make your own bee nests. This is something that I could not get to work in allthemods 9, so I didn't include it in episode 1, but here you go, the more you know. But enough of that fun fact, that's just something extra that happened in between episodes. Today we're going to go over bee breeding, so let's check and see. This has been running overnight. How many honeycombs and honey bottles do we have? More than we need. Wow. All right, we are full. All right, guys, so how is that? I put some frame drawers up. We have 1,600 already of the honeycombs, 70 bottles, but only because we ran out of glass bottles, and 233 of these pollen puffs. Very cool. All right, enough of the maintenance stuff. We are here to breed bees. So I went ahead and I already picked up all of the bees that we made in the previous episode. We have a double of the mason bee, and we have a double of the green carpenter bee. We also have the ashy mining bee, the chocolate mining bee, the resin bee, the leaf cutter bee, the slimy bee, and the reed bee from episode 1. So one thing I'm going to assume is that you guys are here to learn how to get all of the bees, not just how to breed them. There are multiple different ways to get bees in Productive Bees and also allthemods 10. One of them is feeding 2 bees their corresponding catalyst, which most of the time is going to be flowers, and having them breed as a more vanilla mechanic. So let me show you guys an example of breeding bees together. We have the reed bee and the resin bee here, and 2 flowers. Let's go ahead and free these 2 guys. And then 1, 2, they're gonna schmooch. And there we go. We have our Silky Bee. So that is one way to breed bees in Productive Bees. Let me go ahead and pick these 2 guys up. We can put them back. The bee that pops out will be a baby bee. And if I can get it down, yep, growing time, it shows 19 minutes. So probably 20 minutes total. I've been letting this dude fly around for a little bit. But 19 minutes, 25 seconds is what it shows. Super important when they are in baby form, when they are just a child is what it says. When they are only a child, they will not produce any kind of byproduct. Let me show you guys real quick. If we grab them and look at them here, bee cage, Silky Bee, hold shift. The first line, it says child. If you put a bee inside a beehive, an advanced beehive, as a child, even if you give it the flowers, it will not produce any byproduct. As long as the child bee is inside of the bee cage, it will not grow up to be an adult. There are 2 ways to grow a child bee to an adult bee. One of them is letting them fly around and letting the cooldown expire. Another way to make them grow faster is going to be by making the Babee Incubator, which is a daylight detector hay bale surrounded by iron. Let's make this guy real quick. And here we go, one of our first speed bumps. We need nether quartz, so we have to go to the nether to be able to get the nether quartz. So I found this really crazy, gigantic floating island thing. I don't know if this is modded Minecraft or if this is a failure to generate, but I'm kind of curious. I love floating islands. Let's head up there and make our nether portal up there. All right, so we are up here, and this does look like it's probably something that is supposed to be generated. It's a floating nether kind of island. Neat. All right, good enough as any. Let's go ahead and just put our portal in the middle and head to the nether. Quest complete to the nether. Is this seriously? Are we inside of another fortress? Whoa, we are in another fortress. That is pretty crazy. What good luck. But let's not dilly-dally. This is why we're here. We are here for some quartz so that we can build the Babee Incubator. Daylight detector. And Babee Incubator. There we go. We got it. Let's go ahead and put it inside of our breeding room. I went ahead and I picked up the bee so that we don't need to be bothered by it. Let's put it over here. And our next speed bump is this guy needs power. So we need to either use modded Minecraft to power this guy, or we can switch over to the honey generator. All right, so furnace. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys and a bucket for a honey bucket. And let's go honey bucket, furnace, and iron. Oh, there we go. We have our honey generator. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll make another honey bucket. We can put the honey generator right next to it and bucket. There we go. Now it's going to run the honey that we put in there for power and fill this bad boy up. What's great is once this buffer is full, it will only refill the 100k buffer of the honey generator. So when that one is full, it will no longer be burning honey. You don't have to worry about waste. All right, so we have our Silky Bee. It is a child inside of the bee cage. Like I said, you can either let it fly around for 20 minutes, which I do in the early game, or you can make the Babee Incubator. This guy is a little bit more expensive though. We put the Silky Bee in here and we need to feed it 20 of the honey treats. So just like last time, we're using honey bottles and honeycombs to make honey treats. We need 20 of them. Put them in right here and it will slowly start turning the bee from child to adult. And like I said, it is very slow, but this is the way that you can change the item within a machine without having the bee flying around if that makes you uncomfortable. And I just realized we have a blaze trophy. Cool. I like trophies. And it looks like it ran out of power right at 99%. So if that can be changed in the mods, that would be pretty cool. Like give us that 1%. For one bucket. There we go. Silky Bee. Now when we shift, it says adult, and this bee will be able to get us combs. So let's go ahead and discontinue the slimy nest since we already have the slimy bee. We can put the advanced beehive right here and the expansion box right above it. We'll go ahead and preemptively put a hopper underneath it, but this guy's not going to get hoppered into a barrel like episode 1. We're going to hopper it into this, the Centrifuge from Productive Bees. And that is going to be easy. It's iron around a grindstone. We got the grindstone, and then we could either use iron or a cauldron. I picked up a cauldron, so there we go. We have a centrifuge. And we're going to go ahead and put this guy under. So the combs are going to go into the centrifuge. Now this one has a power bar on the side, but the regular centrifuge does not require power. Let's go ahead and take our Silky Bee, which is an adult, and we will shift right click the advanced beehive to place the bee inside the hive. There we go. Now one thing you're going to notice is that the Silky Bee is going to fly around and it is not going to pollinate because it does not pollinate with flowers. Going to the Silky Bee in JEI, hovering over it, hitting U for use, we see it gives us silky combs. Bee flowering right here shows it has to be a cobweb. So it will pollinate only cobwebs. And really cool, we have a modded recipe of a honeycomb around the sinew fibers that I talked about in my All the Mods 10. We can get sinew fibers instead of string from dried sinew, which is cooked sinew, drops from pigs. I used to throw it in the trash can. Now I know what to use it for. And here is our cobweb. So now we just need to place the cobweb down somewhere, preferably where I will not get stuck in it, but I want it to be symmetrical. There we go. And now the Silky Bee will head over to the cobweb, and it will use the cobweb to flower. There we go. He likes it. And boop, pollinated and went inside. So this beehive, instead of making honeycombs like vanilla bees, the Silky Bee hitting you is going to make silky combs, spider eyes, and pollen puffs. These silky cones, when you put centrifuge, you can spin them for a 50% chance to get string. So if you let this guy AFK, it will generate string, wax, honey, spider eyes, and pollen puffs for you. Just the Silky Bee by itself. And that is only one way how you can breed bees in productive bees. Like I said, I'm assuming you're here for more than just how to feed them flowers. There's 4 main ways to get bees in productive bees. One of them is by bee breeding. So you find the 2 bees required, you feed them flowers, they pop out a 3rd bee. Another way, like the Skeletal Bee, is that it has a conditional factor. So it says, be sure to keep your hives well lit to prevent this guy from moving in. This species of bees can't breed amongst themselves. So that means the Skeletal Bee will move in to an empty beehive as long as it is not lit up. Same with the ZomBee. Be sure to keep your hives well lit. So during the night, you have a chance of one of your beehives being inhabited by a ZomBee or a Skeletal Bee, as long as the area is not lit up. So let's knock out those 2 guys as well. And for this, I'm going to select part of my chunk loaded area, but away from all of my feral flare lanterns. So maybe over here where the oil is. All right, I hit F7 over here. Frames per second dropped for a little bit. But let's go ahead. This is a red area. We're going to put the beehive down right here. It is empty, and it is inside of my chunk loaded area. So what we're going to do is we're going to let nighttime come and go. We're not going to skip the night, and we're going to see if somebody has moved in. All right, 1 Minecraft night, and unfortunately daytime, it's raining. We do not have a Skeletal Bee or a ZomBee moved in yet, so I will progress to the next way to get bees. So another bee that people have trouble getting is the Nomad Bee. This sneaky bee will lay its eggs in nests belonging to the Ashy Mining Bee. So what we have to do is we have to take our Ashy Mining Bee and we have to let it be free. So we're going to free the Ashy Mining Bee. And we're going to put it here in its dirt nest. There we go. Inhabitant Ashy Mining Bee. So now this one is inhabited. The way you get the Nomad Bee is every time the Ashy Mining Bee comes out and starts pollinating stuff, there's a chance that it will pop a Nomad Bee inside of that nest. So now we're waiting for the Nomad Bee to pop, the Skeletal Bee to pop, and the ZomBee to pop. There's one more, the Neon Cuckoo Bee. It lays its eggs in nests belonging to the Blue Banded Bee. We do not have a Blue Banded Bee yet. So searching up the Blue Banded Bee, bee spawning, it comes from an acacia, dark oak, or cherry. So we do have a dark oak. Hitting U on this guy shows us the dark oak can make 3 different bees. The Yellow Carpenter, the Blue Banded, and the Green Carpenter Bee. We are also missing the Yellow Carpenter Bee, so let's go ahead and tag the dark oak and see if we get the Blue Banded Bee or the Yellow Carpenter Bee. And we will make ourselves a honey treat and go ahead and tag our dark oak nest, like in episode 1, to go ahead and populate over 20 minutes. We'll see what bee we get. Let's check on our Silky Bee. It is gathering honey. We do not have any glass bottles in here. Now we have one. And it is working on silky combs, turning them into wax and string. So we already have our first string. Perfect. So just to recap, we are waiting for the Skeletal Bee and the ZomBee to pop up during the night. We are waiting to see what the dark oak nest will give us, hopefully the blue-banded bee. And we are waiting for the ashy mining bee to pop out and run around and have a Nomad Bee move in to the dirt nest. So let me go ahead and snag this guy out here. It's just a regular vanilla bee out in the wild. And I can show you guys the next way to get bees, which is a bee conversion method. So with this one, I am specifically looking at the CreeBee, which is the creeper bee. When you hit U on it, it can be used to make the niter bee, the radioactive bee, the uraninite bee through bee breeding. It flowers either coal ore or TNT, and what it makes is a powdery comb, which can be centrifuged for gunpowder. So we can automate gunpowder this way. Now, how do you get the CreeBee? When you click on it, it shows you bee conversion. So you have to get a regular Minecraft bee, and you have to right-click it with TNT, and it will turn into a CreeBee. And it explodes when angered. Might be the diet. You should keep this one to itself. So this one definitely needs to be put in with a simulator upgrade. The simulator upgrade we will go over in a future episode. So let's see how this works. We're going to put the bee down. We're going to give it TNT. And there we go. We have a creeper bee, a CreeBee, and we'll go ahead and pick him up before he blows up. So bee conversion is another way to breed bees in productive bees. And like I mentioned, if you have more than enough honey treats, you can speed up the cooldown with honey treats. Every time you use one, it does not work as good as the previous one though. Just letting you guys know. And let's hope that the bee that pops out is the blue-banded bee, because that will make our job a lot easier. Let's see, what did we get? We got ourselves another green carpenter bee. Bummer. Out of all three of them, that was the one that we didn't need. So let's go ahead and put down another dark oak and another dirt nest. And we can go ahead and tag both of these guys. I should have done 16 dark oak nests instead of speeding the one up by 16 with the honey treats. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our green one, since we already have one, and we can go ahead and populate the other dark oak nest. That will increase our chances. We have one of the ashy miney bees already out. Oh, I didn't even notice. We got a Nomad Bee. Look at that. Too funny. So with this Nomad Bee, I'm just going to let this guy grow. 20 minutes is fine by me, because the Babee Incubator, as you could see, it takes 20 honey treats to rapidly grow them. I'd rather waste the 20 minutes than the 20 honey treats. So I'm going to let this other dirt nest go ahead and pop something out. It doesn't matter, because we got the Nomad Bee off of this guy. Here's hoping that the dark oak nest, the other one, will gather us the blue-banded bee we need in order to have a neon Cuckoo Bee move in. And second Minecraft day without sleeping, we still don't have anything. So let's go ahead and put an expansion box on top of this guy and build another one. And we'll go boop and double boop. Now they both have 5, and we can wait for the Skeletal Bee and the zombies to move in now with higher chance since there's more room. All right, second try, and it is sunset again. So let's hope for the blue-banded bee. We got another green carpenter bee, and the other one didn't work because the Nomad Bee moved in here and destroyed the countdown timer for it. So while we're waiting for night to pass, another way to get bees is going to be by creating the spawn egg for that corresponding bee. So if you cannot figure out how to make the bee that you're looking for, check out the spawn egg for it. There's going to be many different ways to create the spawn egg. So for Sky Osmium Bee, as an example, to get the spawn egg, you need the Osmium Bee spawn egg with charged Certus and Skystone thrown into lava, and it will turn the Osmium Bee into a Sky Osmium Bee. How to get the Osmium Bee spawn egg is going to be through genes, which we'll go over in a future episode. The reason why the spawn egg method is not that important right now is because it usually requires the gene indexer to be able to make a spawn egg and then turn it into the spawn egg of what you're looking for. But if it's a spawn egg from a specific mod, like Arnavo, the spawn egg will most likely require something from that mod to create. So from Arnavo, the Arcane Bee spawn egg comes from using the enchanting apparatus on an Amethyst Bee spawn egg. And then same thing. How do you get the Amethyst Bee? You got to do gene indexing. Manganese from the modern industrialization. You need to run 6 iron bees through the centrifuge, and it'll turn into the manganese bee spawn egg. The mystical agriculture Inferium Bee. You're going to have to use infusion crafting on a Prosperi Bee. Same thing, gene indexer to get the Prosperi Bee. The Plutonium Bee needs to be run through the reprocessor from extreme reactors. You need to run through a Cyanite Bee. Again, gene indexer. So all of the spawn eggs, even though that's a way to breed the different bees, it's locked behind the gene indexer. That we'll do in a future episode. And our Nomad Bee has grown up. Very cool. So I'm going to go ahead and snag this guy. Third Minecraft night. Let's see. Nothing. And we got honeycombs. So it looks like a regular bee has moved in. So let's go ahead and we'll box this in so that no bees, vanilla bees, can move in. This also removes the light level completely, but as far as I understand, the light level just needs to be equal to night time. It doesn't have to be underground or anything like that. And it's pretty funny, guys. I just realized it takes 20 minutes for the bees to spawn, which is the exact duration of a Minecraft day. So these guys are popping at night. We got another green carpenter bee, and we got a yellow carpenter bee. So we were missing the yellow, but still, bad luck. We still don't have a blue banded bee. All right, so let's go ahead and make 2 more dark oak nests. We have the honey treats. We'll tag these 2. Okay, they're both on 20-minute cooldowns. Since it is night and we're waiting for the skeletal bee and the ZomBee to move in, let's go ahead and knock out another bee, which requires that jungle biome we found in episode 1. We found mahogany. All right, we're in a jungle biome, and we're looking for the Sugarbag Bee from Productive Bees, and what we need to do is we need to find these cocoa beans. They are mature, and it shows the tool is an axe and a sword. And of course, I right-clicked it by accident, trying to access my crafting table on a stick. All right, let's just make a wooden axe for this. I'm not sure. I think they might have to be 100%, but let's try and harvest these guys. We are going to get the cocoa beans, and the mod does say that it can be planted anywhere. It does not need to be planted in a biome that is jungle biome. So this one's growth 50. Nope. This one is growth 100. Nope. We just got to keep breaking the cocoa beans. And it would make sense that they would have to be 100% growth for this to work, or else you could just do this, right? Just plant them and harvest them. We do have some bones on us that we could turn into bone meal. So let's see if we can make this a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50, 50. Okay. Don't want to right click and harvest by accident. Mature. Okay. And now harvest the mature ones. Bummer. I did grab some jungle saplings, and we have cocoa beans, so we could plant some of these saplings at home. Since the Sugarbag Bee does say it does not need to be in the jungle. Mature. And still no bee. Oh, here we go. Look at this. All right. Come on, Lady Luck. No? No. No. Mature. No. All right, we're back from the jungle. I went ahead and I planted 4 jungle saplings to make a 2x2. Let's see, what did we get in our nests while we were gone? We're really hoping for the blue-banded bee. There we go. We got one. We got 2, actually. Both of them popped out blue-banded bees. That's great. Now we just need to wait. Every time the blue-banded bee leaves, a neon cuckoo bee might move in. The same way the Nomad Bee moved in earlier. Now it's all down to the jungle tree growing so we can attach cocoa beans to it, and seeing if Skeletal Bees, or zombie bees have moved in. Let's see. Nope. And no, not yet. And I think I just saw one pop out while looking through the window. From outside, let's see. I saw a little one. Yep, there we go. We got a neon cuckoo. So let's grab our blue bandeds. All right, we got another green and we got a yellow now. All right, there goes the jungle tree, and it looks like it attached itself to our airship. It's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and put all of our cocoa on this guy and let them grow. And let's check the bees over here one more time. Nope, and nope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this with dirt even more. I'm going to add a door so that we can stand on the inside. And I know it's really hard to see, guys, but let's see if standing near it in the dark changes our luck. And there we go. While we're waiting here, the skeletal bee popped on us. I know it's really hard to see, but we got one. There we go. I can hold a torch. And let's grab them. Skeletal bee. So it is nighttime. I am standing near the beehives, and I am completely blocked in. So more or less underground. And we just changed from sunrise to daytime. I'm not sure if that matters or not, since we are completely blocked off from the sky right now. But let's go ahead and check out our jungle tree, and we'll leave this guy here. Let's see if the cocoa pods have all formed now. We'll knock out the ones that are 100% and hope for the Sugarbag Bee. Mature, mature. Okay. No. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nope. Yeah, no. Unless I completely missed it, we didn't get one this round. Got a whole bunch of cocoa beans. Let's go ahead and put these back. All right, sunrise and daytime, we did not get a zombie to spawn. So I'm thinking I'm going to expand this room, give there more space around each of these units. And I'm going to block it off from sunlight, of course. All right, giving it a little bit more space just in case it has a chance to spawn in any of the faces touching the beehive, the advanced beehive, not just the front. And part of me is curious, looking at the mini map, if we are hitting the cap for friendly mobs in the area, which would be kind of rough. So like bees can't spawn because there's too many tree frogs in the area. All right, so we'll leave this here and let's go check out our cocoa beans. All right, let's go Sugarbag. Man, I've never had that much bad luck when it comes to spawning the Sugarbag Bee. There we go. Got him. We got our Sugarbag Bee from breaking the cocoa beans on a jungle tree. That took long enough. All right, so it's sunset. Let's try for the last bee for this episode, which is the ZomBee. All we need is for it to move in while it is completely dark. And finally, guys, finally, where'd you go? We got ourselves a ZomBee. Nice. All right. ZomBee, Skeletal Bee, and Sugarbag Bee. Those are the squirrely weird ones. So that is a good stopping point for this episode on how to breed. So we have multiple ways. We can breed them with flowers. We can do a block conversion on them. We have some with specific conditions like the Skeletal Bee and the ZomBee and the Sugarbag Bee. And of course we have spawn eggs, which will be in a future episode. Next episode, what I'm feeling is what everybody wants, the Diamond Bee, of course. So in the Diamond Bee line, we also have the Emerald Bee with the Slimy Bee, which we got in episode 1. To get the Diamond Bee, we need the Ender Bee, and the Ender Bee lives in the end, so that's a problem. The Lapis Bee, we're going to need the Blue Banded Bee that we have with the Redstone Bee. The Redstone Bee comes from the Chocolate Mining Bee, which we got in episode 1, with the Glowing Bee, which we do not have yet. That is required for the Nether. So next episode, what I'm thinking, let's knock out the Beekeeper. We'll use Easy Villagers as well to make that a little bit easier. We'll do Beekeeper and Beekeeper trades, as well as knocking out the Nether with the Nether Nests and the Nether Bees.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Smash like to show your appreciation, and consider leaving a boom in the comments section below. Also, click on my dude here to subscribe for more Let's Plays. Ooh.